Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive. Today, we're tackling something that's super popular right now, but people don't always dig deep enough. Self-love.
Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in, you know, outer stuff like what we achieve or how we look or what other people think.
Right, exactly. But this time, we're going inward, like really exploring why embracing ourselves, even the parts we don't love, is so important.
It's way more than just a trend.
Exactly, it is. And to guide us, we've got this awesome article called Self-Love, the Foundation of a Happier, Healthier Life.
Oh, I love that title.
Right. Gets right to the point.
It does. One thing that gets missed about self-love is that it's not about like being egotistical or vain.
Okay, yeah?
It's really about having this deep, honest appreciation for just who you are.
So accepting the good and the bad.
Exactly. Accepting
Yeah.
both your strengths and weaknesses, all of it.
So it's deeper than like bubble baths and saying nice things to yourself in the mirror.
Oh, for sure.
More like a total shift in how we see ourselves.
Yeah. Right. It's about realizing your worth is already there. Treating yourself with kindness and, respecting your needs and boundaries.
Yeah, I love that. So when you can get to that place of like really accepting yourself, that's when things start to change.
Absolutely. It can really ripple out into all parts of your life.
Now that's what I'm curious about. Like, what are those tangible benefits? How does self-love actually make a difference?
Okay, well, think about it this way. When you truly accept yourself, flaws and all, you don't need validation from other people as much.
Interesting, yeah.
You become your own source of strength, and resilience too.
Yeah, I like that. So instead of needing others to tell us we're good enough, we become our own cheerleaders.
Exactly. And there's actual research showing that self-compassion, which is a big part of self-love, can actually lower how we react to stress.
Wow.
It's like having this built-in protection against, well, all the hard stuff life throws at you.
That makes so much sense. Like when you believe in yourself, you're not going to crumble as easily.
You-
That makes me think about when I used to struggle with terrible stage fright. I was so worried about what the audience was thinking that my anxiety was just through the roof.
Oh, I get it. Focusing on those outside judgments can be tough.
It was paralyzing. It wasn't until I started practicing being kinder to myself and accepting that it's normal to be nervous
Yeah.
that I finally started to feel better on stage.
And that is a perfect example of how self-love, that self-compassion, can lead to real positive change.
Yeah.
It's not just about, feeling happy. It's about getting that inner strength to deal with whatever comes your way.
Okay, so we've got this superpower, self-love, but what happens when we don't have it? Like, what are the downsides? What goes wrong?
Well, when self-love is missing, we become really sensitive to everything around us.
Hmm.
We're constantly looking for others to validate us, comparing ourselves and feeling like we have to earn love and acceptance.
So instead of feeling strong on the inside, we're always looking outside for approval.
Right.
And that just sounds exhausting.
It is. And it can turn into this awful cycle of self-doubt, people-pleasing, even perfectionism.
Oh.
Like, we believe we're not enough unless we're achieving, performing, always chasing some impossible standard.
Ugh, the perfectionism trap. I think we've all been there.
Yeah. It's like chasing this image of being perfect and always feeling like you're falling short.
Exactly.
And that's dangerous because real self-worth comes from inside you, not from what you achieve or what others think.
Right.
When we tie our worth to those external things, we're setting ourselves up to be disappointed.
Yeah, I can see that. So how do we break free? How do we actually start building this self-love?
Well, that's where the article gets really helpful.
Mm-hmm.
It lays out 6 things you can actually do to build self-love. And I think you'll be surprised by how practical they are.
Okay, I'm ready to hear this. What's the first step?
So let's start with, we've been, really digging into what self-love really means
Yeah.
and how important it is for our overall well-being.
And I think it's been so interesting to see how it's not just about like feeling good. It's about this deeper strength.
Right, exactly.
This resilience that we build.
Yeah, and that foundation, that strength, it affects so many areas of our lives,
Absolutely.
especially our relationships.
Ooh, okay. That's what I really wanted to get into. How does self-love actually like change how we connect with people?
Well, when you truly love and respect yourself, you kind of set this new standard for how other people treat you.
Interesting.
You're less likely to put up with, disrespect, negativity, toxic behavior, any of that
Yeah.
because you know your worth.
You know what that reminds me of? It's like that inner compass we were talking about earlier. It's
Yes.
like self-love helps us figure out which relationships are actually good for us.
Exactly. Instead of, looking to other people to tell you you're worthy, you're drawn to people who already see that in you.
Right. And not just romantic relationships, right?
No, not at all.
This is like friends,
And all
family,
of it.
work, everything.
Yeah, everything. It helps us set those healthy boundaries we talked about.
Yeah,
And that protects our energy.
it does.
And it brings in those people who respect those boundaries.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So it allows us to be more like authentic in our relationships. We
Exactly.
don't have to pretend or be someone we're not.
Exactly. When you're secure in yourself, you don't need to put on a show.
Right.
You can just be you.
And I bet that's what attracts people who really get us,
Oh, absolutely.
because they're seeing the real us.
Yeah, not some fake version.
Yeah, exactly. But it's not just about, having good relationships.
No, not at all.
The article talked about how self-love helps us deal with challenges better, makes us more resilient.
Right. And there's a ton of research to back that up.
I am so curious about that. Tell me more about this self-love and resilience connection.
Okay, so think about those times when, life just throws you a curveball.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe it's losing your job,
Mm-hmm.
a health problem, a breakup, something like that.
Yeah.
If you've got that strong sense of self-worth, you're not going to fall apart as easily.
So instead of being totally overwhelmed by those negative emotions, we have this like inner strength to get through it.
Yeah, exactly. Self-love gives you that inner strength. Like, even when things are falling apart around you, it reminds you that you're still whole.
Mm-hmm.
You're still worthy.
Right.
And that can be so powerful.
Oh, I bet. Especially during those really tough times.
For sure.
This is making me think about a time I went through a really bad breakup.
Oh, yeah.
I felt like completely lost and heartbroken.
Yeah.
But I decided, you know what? Instead of just feeling sorry for myself, I'm going to take care of myself.
Good for you.
I started journaling, going on walks, doing those things that I used to love but had kind of forgotten about.
Those are all great examples of self-love.
Yeah.
And I bet that helped you get through that tough time.
It really did. I mean, it wasn't easy, but remembering my worth and doing things that like fed my soul, it helped me work through the pain.
Yeah.
And I actually came out stronger on the other side.
That's what resilience is all about. It's not avoiding the pain or the hard stuff.
Right.
It's having what you need inside to deal with it, to heal, and even grow from those experiences.
Exactly. Yeah.
And self-love is such a big part of that.
This is so eye-opening. It's amazing how this one thing, self-love, can have such a big impact on, well, everything.
Yeah, from our relationships to how we handle challenges.
Exactly.
It really is powerful stuff.
It is. But it's got to be a journey, right?
It is. It's not like you just, achieve self-love and you're done.
You don't just get there.
Right. It's an ongoing thing.
Yeah.
Some days those negative thoughts will creep back in.
Of course.
You might doubt yourself or struggle with those boundaries we talked about.
It's normal.
It's totally normal. The key is to, be patient with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Remember you're human and keep coming back to those acts of kindness and respect.
It's like building a muscle, right?
Seriously.
The more we practice self-love, the stronger we get.
Exactly. And the benefits are so worth it.
Yeah.
You deserve to experience the joy, the freedom, the resilience
It's true.
that comes from loving and accepting yourself fully.
This has been such an insightful conversation. Before we jump into those practical tips for, actually building self-love,
Yeah.
I'm curious what's been like the most impactful takeaway for you so far?
It really has been a great discussion.
Yeah, it has. So we've talked about like what self-love really is,
Mm.
all the amazing things it can do for us,
Mm-hmm.
and even, what can happen when we don't have enough of it.
Exactly.
But now let's get to the good stuff,
Yeah.
practical stuff.
Yeah.
What can we actually do to have more self-love in our lives?
Okay, so remember those 6 strategies the article mentioned?
Yeah.
Let's go back to those and figure out how we can, actually use them.
I love it. Like a roadmap.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So first up, self-compassion. One of the easiest ways to practice self-compassion is to really pay attention to how you talk to yourself, especially when things are hard or you mess up.
It's so easy to be like super hard on ourselves.
It is. So next time you find yourself like in that negative spiral,
Yeah.
just try to pause
Yeah, okay.
and reframe those thoughts.
So talk to ourselves like we'd talk to a friend.
Exactly. Like if your friend was struggling, what would you say to them?
Yeah.
Give yourself that same kindness.
I love that. Okay, what about boundaries?
Ah, yes. Boundaries. Setting healthy boundaries is so important. It
Yeah.
protects your energy, your well-being.
It's hard, though, like for people pleasers.
It can be tough. Start small.
Okay.
Like maybe you say no to taking on one more thing when you're already swamped,
Right.
or politely decline something that, doesn't fit with your values.
And we don't have to, like, give a big explanation
Nope.
or apologize.
Not at all. It's about honoring yourself
Yeah.
and what's important to you.
Yeah, that's a good point. And speaking of honoring ourselves, what about self-care?
Oh, yes. Self-care. It's not all bubble baths and fancy stuff.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
really about, consistently making those small efforts to take care of your body and mind.
For me, it helps to actually schedule it,
Oh, that's smart.
like sleep, moving my body, eating healthy foods.
Those are all great.
It doesn't have to be, a big production, even a few minutes of, like, deep breathing or stretching.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And don't forget the things you love.
Yes.
Reading, music, being in nature, whatever lights you up.
Yeah. Self-care should be fun, not another chore on the list.
Exactly. Now let's talk about those pesky negative thoughts.
Yeah,
They can really get in the way of self-love.
they
We
can.
talked about reframing them earlier,
Yeah.
but another good strategy is to write them down
Okay.
and then challenge them.
Oh, interesting.
So for example, let's say you're thinking, I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
Ask yourself, what proof do I have for that thought? And what proof do I have that it's not true?
It's like we're putting those thoughts on trial.
Exactly. And a lot of times you'll find that those negative thoughts, they're not really based on reality.
They're just like old beliefs we're hanging on to.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, 2 more to go. Celebrating progress. How can we do more to that?
Yeah.
Well, one thing you could try is keeping a gratitude journal.
Ooh, I like that.
Each day, write down a few things you're grateful for, including anything you accomplished, even small things.
Yeah, it's easy to focus on what we didn't do.
It is.
Yeah,
But this helps you focus on the positive.
I love it. Okay, last one. Embracing our uniqueness.
Yes, this is a big one. Surrounding yourself with people who appreciate you for you is huge.
Right.
Find those supportive, encouraging relationships where you feel safe to just be yourself.
And don't be afraid to, express yourself too.
Yes.
Through art, music, whatever. Just let your true self shine.
Beautifully said. Remember, there's no one else exactly like you,
It's true.
and that's pretty amazing.
It is. Wow, this has been so inspiring. Thank you so much for sharing all this with us.
It's been my pleasure. Remember, self-love is a journey.
Yeah.
Be patient with yourself, keep practicing, and see how your life changes.
It can change in really amazing ways. And on that note, listeners, we've reached the end of our deep dive into self-love.
It's been fun.
It has. We hope you've learned some new things and that you have some new tools to really nurture that self-love in your own lives.
You deserve it.
You do. You are worthy of love, starting with the love you give yourself.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep growing, keep being your amazing selves.